Hey everyone! Welcome back. I am back today with more Kamen Rider Geats, you guys. Kamen Rider Geats, right? And I know I say this every episode that like, oh my gosh, you're just like layering on like twist after twist or secret after secret, but like, wow guys. Last night was pretty intense. I would say it was pretty intense. We definitely got some reveals. What they mean exactly, I'm still kind of trying to figure out, and I know you guys kind of are as well. Again, it's just one of those things where like the more answers we get, the more questions we have. So I'll just kind of briefly get into my lingering thoughts before we jump into this next one, and hopefully although I doubt we're gonna have everything addressed. Like we're just now starting to come up on the halfway point of the series. Like I feel like we're in for it. But yeah, I will just kind of briefly, catch you up on my thoughts on last episode. Before I do that, I do just want to say if you're joining me early today, you know just what that means. It means that you are one of my awesome patrons. Thank you so very much. And as always, I'm sending up those big old hugs right through that screen. And if not, still, thank you for joining me today. I'm glad you're here. I do hope you'll consider supporting me that way. The link to my Patreon is going to be in that description down below. And if you're joining me on those YouTubes, I hope you hit like and subscribe for me. Thank you so much for that. All right, guys. So last time, the big takeaways, I think, were the big reveal that I don't know if like everyone from, it kind of sounded like everyone from the DGP is from the future. And this is like their entertainment, which we kind of already knew, like they're otherworldly and this is their entertainment. But now it's looking like it's even more in depth than that. They are from the future. Where that leaves the goddess of creation and Ace's mom and all that, I'm still not entirely sure. But it does look like now we do have something coming together with like, okay, well, if everything truly is out of time, then that would kind of make some of the things about Ace add up a little bit more, the way he's like, he's been around, because he said he'd like been around for like thousands of years. His mom kind of being like him being like this impossible person that would be like so dangerous and everything. That does add up to a degree if all of this is kind of taking place like they're not in their own timeline. What that means for like the actual world where it's taking place, because I kind of like by this point I'm like, is this like some kind of separated virtual reality? And now I'm like, well, no, maybe not necessarily. Maybe they're just in the past, are present. But I'm still not entirely sure about that. Baraba's just out here just trying to some of us don't really care about the show. We're just here for like our agenda, and Baraba just turned into, I hope I'm saying that right, turned into a giant mecha, basically, of some kind. And just, I thought she was destroying the world. I think she was just destroying the garden. But I'm still not sure. When I went to go get the description to post last week's episode on Wikipedia, it said the garden was being destroyed. And I'm like, okay. But, I mean, it kind of sounded like they were talking like, well, now that you know, we kind of gotta get the heck out of Dodge. Like, this one's over. But I could be wrong about that. So, we had Ace, of course, figuring it out before anyone else. I thought that was what was being revealed to Daichi and Michinaga. You guys were like, no, we still don't really know what was. I assumed it was this thing about the future. But maybe there's something else that hasn't been revealed yet. Neon is doing like slightly better now, which I'm happy about, even though like doesn't really matter now for facing like the end of everything, or, as we know it. But I'm curious about the note. I'm curious about what's going on there. But I am glad to see her kind of like being herself again. I think that probably a lot of the aim of the show is to like put people in an uncomfortable position for the sake of drama. And I don't like seeing that done to her personally, or any of them really. So I was glad to see her kind of like, okay, we can kind of get her back to like a homeostasis at least. So yeah, guys, I am very curious to see where it's all going, to say the least. So without further ado, what do you say we go ahead and we jump right in to the next episode of Kamen Rider Geats? Let's do this. Oh, emergency special. Oh, is this going to be kind of like a recap app? Oh, are we all watching this? Are we all just like watching the... Okay, oh, he is. He's like, look, it's you, my favorite. Jeez, how many... Well, that's some... Wow. Yeah, be specific. They've been around. Oh, wow, they've really been around. Maybe that's why his mom looked like she was from, like, ancient times. Yay. So, yeah, they're... I mean, that's kind of even funnier, though, that they're like, hey, guys, we're experiencing technical difficulties. Here's a nice little highlight reel for you. They're running like a rerun. What? When? Whoa! Oh my god! We're seeing like Ace's past. That looks... Look at him with his little... Oh! Is he supposed to be from like a different era? It kind of looks like. I mean, I don't... He's such a boss, like no matter when it is. Oh, not just you've been selected, like you are a Kamen Rider now. Congrats. What? He's like, okay. Heck yeah. Wow, getting to see like a first henshin from Ace. Yeah, you don't seem to be too alarmed about that. Oh, wow. Movie star. Oh my god. I can't handle it. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, we still don't know that full story. Mm-hmm. Quite a crew here. Hey, that's you. That's okay. So they've been watching, kind of like choosing their favorite character. It's been a weird journey. I mean, he's also a frog, so like that would have been the first. Yeah. That's the thing. Like the future thing for me is totally secondary. The frog thing is really first in my mind. Oh. Who is this mysterious person? Oh, God. As if we needed to be reminded. She's like, oh, I think I'm finding my person. Oh? 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 Helping you find happiness is enough for me. Who are you? It's probably the guy we saw. Oh, yeah. And that brings us more to current. Oh, that was quite the sight. Oh, yeah, it was the world. Okay. I thought it was just the gardens that she was doing. Yeah, and they have quite a history, apparently. That will handle a lot of it, but then how do we do that? Ah! You're kidding! Is it? Oh, of course it is! Hey! Oh, now we're going to get the other side of the story. Oh my god, no. Please, God, no. Oh, we're learning. The thing is, the Jamato are something more that now. So that is something to be considered. The Jamato Grand Prix. Oh, the JGP. Oh, it's on. So we're going to flip it around. Whichever Jamato can get this done will get their idea, which means that we know who's going to take a real personal interest in that. Oh my God. Whoa. Oh God. I don't think that's going to help, Sweet Pea. Oh, and never mind, it did. Riders, please get out there. Ace is like, time to get to work. We're just supposed to let them rampage? Yeah, free walk. He's like, that's why I love you, Geats. That's why I love you. That's why we all love him. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. You're like just not realizing that? Interesting. Can relate, perhaps? Why are you doing this, Sparaba? Aww. The thing is, he's just so, like, gone on his wish now. He doesn't even realize that, like, he's in so deep with this person who's clearly not up to anything good. He's like, I don't want any part of whatever it is you're up to. He's gonna align with anyone who will help him. He does not really care what else they're up to. They can destroy the world if they want. I just... Like, really? Looking at this, Michinaga, you're gonna be like, yeah, this looks about right. Like, Jamato, like, killing people and hurting people. I just feel like he's lost sight of everything. Oh, got in the way. What are you doing here? Have you met them? Yeah. Speak for yourself, Ace. Now we know you're like looking for answers, but still. Come on, guys. Foxy boy. Let's go. The thing is, like, they really want to protect this world, too. Like, I truly believe, and yes, we all have our own, like, agendas, too, but what we're seeing here is that their agendas don't outweigh their, like, decency, I feel like, you know? See, but what's interesting, though, is that the Jamato now also have, like, is that concerning to anyone that, I get it. I get it. I get how into Geats you are. I do get it. Supporting person, yeah. It's like if it means I get to see my Geats. Oh, we're going to have a little battle going on between these two. What? Oh my god, it's not the frog, is it? Is it the frog? It's the frog! And there's, okay, so that is the guy, isn't it? Oh, you're just going to take on, like, 3 riders? See, all 3 of them are going to have a problem with, like, this whole thing being halted, you know? So it makes sense. They're all going to... Oh, we finally get to see the human version of the frog. So he really is a frog. He's a frog, and this is his human design. Whoa! The music, though. Here's Kyun. Okay, Kyun's like, I'm trying to see what kind of... I feel like he's naturally going to be like frog-inspired. But we'll see. Oh, and Baraba, this is why Baraba is not concerned about taking on all of these individuals. Okay. Just have to adapt. They're like, we've been doing this a while, so... So now it's not... Now it really is like a whole new battlefield now. Yeah. I mean, I agree. They must have, like, higher reasoning now, which is kind of scary. And also kind of, like, a moral issue? Okay. A Jamato Grand Prix is a game where Jamato battle humans to attain their ideal world. Oh, and now it's all in, like, Jamato. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. I mean, in a way, this makes sense. And in a way, it really adds another layer to the battle that we're fighting now. And I can appreciate that because we've kind of had this building up with having Baraba come in and we know like their support, like it's interesting to me how the supporters are, you're like, it does go a little bit beyond like just producing a show. And that's kind of when they came out with the whole like show thing, I'm like, yes, but I feel like there's probably a little bit deeper meaning to it. Certainly, there's a lot more to it than we originally thought, with the whole thing being, you know, taking place across all these different timelines. And there is like this kind of personal stake in all of this, you know, like it's not just, these aren't just like network executives or whatever, producers on a show. I mean, we do have a producer, but there is a little bit more of like with the sponsors, like a little bit more of a personal stake there as we see like this one, what is his name? Jim? I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but the one with the blue streak who's Ace's supporter. I mean, he's into Ace. I get it. I will join that fan club with him. He's into Ace a lot. And we got to see Ace. That was a real treat. I know a lot of this was like review, which makes sense because this is a good point to do it. We're about at the halfway point. I know I said that a few episodes ago. Now we really are. Because I think they usually run up to about like 50 or at the very least like 48. I always get thrown off by 01 having been a lot shorter because of the pandemic. But anyway, getting to see Ace like back before he joined was really interesting because I wasn't sure what that was going to look like. We know he's been around for a while, and I am not an expert on fashion throughout the decades, but is it just me or did that look like it almost kind of looked like a school uniform, but it did not look like what I am used to seeing of a school uniform. So maybe it's just a different style. Maybe it's from another era. It was kind of hard to tell. But that would make sense if this has been going on throughout different... Although, the fact that he had just figured out that it was going on throughout different time periods. Yeah, he said before that, like, he's been around for, like, all this time. I don't know. Maybe he had already been through, like, several time periods by then because he was... I know you guys have had a lot of theories about Ace, especially because he was born kind of as a part... Like, in the midst of the DGP stuff, making him sort of unique. And why everyone's so like, oh my God, that can't possibly be true. So I'm not sure of all the details on that. But... that was really cool to get to see, like, a beginning. Like, an actual, like, closest thing we get to, like, an origin for now for Ace. I'm sure we'll get more later. It was interesting to, like, review everyone's motivations and everything. Because we have come a long way. Most of us for the better, I think. Like, Naon and Kawa and everything, I feel like, are finding themselves a lot more. And Ace as well. Although Ace is always, like... I feel like Ace is always, like, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. But, like, seeing Michinaga and how it all started, it's like, bro, do you not get that, like, the Jamato are doing to like all these other, and I get being angry at the riders, but I just feel like we've kind of like tunnel visioned on that to the point where like clearly you're making some not great decisions in the name of this goal and not really considering the consequences. And he even said, he's like, oh, look, do what you want. I'm just here because you seem to be able to help me right now. That being said, like, I know I said this a few times, but like, I love that we've turned it around and made it the Jamato Grand Prix. And I know, like, on the surface, it's like, oh my God, like, the monsters are taking over everything. But I do wonder, like, where they're going to take it with now the Jamato kind of having a little bit more, like, intelligence, like, higher reasoning, whatever you want to call it. Are we going to end up at some kind of moral or philosophical, like, impasse where it's like, hey, here's the thing. The Jamato are now kind of also... They also have a right to live, maybe, I guess, kind of. Like, I don't know. I think you know where I think you can see where I'm going with this. I don't know, like, who, but then, you know, I don't know who we will be fighting against. Like, maybe just like the higher-ups who did all this in the first place. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure where it's all going to land. But for now, I'm loving the, like, all the supporters versus Baraba. Like, we truly get Desire Grand Prix versus Jamato Grand Prix. Like, in the riders, in the Jamato riders, and in the, just all the sponsors as well. Meanwhile, the producer is just back here like, wow. I mean, they have been around for a while, but even like they have even stated like, wow, this is really like a first time. What are Baraba's motivations? Like, what is that story? Like, why? I'm sure we'll get there. But yeah, guys, it was really fun and interesting just to have like a review episode, but with some added new details in it. I guess we'll just, and I mean, you could see, like I said, you know, there is a little bit more, like, you could see where, like, Sumuri is kind of like, I choose to believe in the writers. Like, there is more to this than just, like, a show. There are, like, personal feelings going on here. So, yeah, guys, it was good to have a little refresh, as well as, kind of set things up for wherever we're going next. So, and yeah, I'm not going to say no to like more riders and henshins. Like, I'm not going to say no to getting to see our frog friend as a Kamen rider, or I forgot his name, but Neon's supporter, who's really laying it on thick, I gotta say. Is he not showing up because their first meeting didn't go well and he's like smoothing it over? Or is he just building the kind of like, it's building the romance a little bit, this whole like secret kind of like magical paper. You know what I mean? I feel like to a young person who is very dedicated to the idea of finding true love, I feel like that's going to build a lot of whimsy. So maybe we're building the whimsy, maybe we just made bad first impression, maybe it's both. But either way, I think it's working. So, I don't know. I'm still kind of all about, I know there were some folks who shipped her with Sae, and I was good with that, except now Sae is not around anymore, so I might defaulted to kind of like her and Keiwa. But maybe this will like build a love triangle. I don't know. Guys. I don't know where they're taking any of this. So, but yeah, I'm along for the ride and I'm loving it. So I guess we'll see what happens now that the Jamato have done a takeover of the show. And I love how they did that at the end. That was so cool. I love it. I love stuff like that. All right, guys, excellent episode. I cannot wait to see where it's all going. I hope you enjoyed watching along with me. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. Please, oh my goodness, please. Don't leave me now. We're halfway through. I know we have a long way to go, so please be sure to join me next time. We will watch it together. Bye for now, guys.